There's something huge happening. The final moment might just be upon us. It's day 39 of the Israel-Hamas war, and there's a burning question. Why are hospitals in Gaza being targeted? Israel's role in Bible prophecies has always been like a clock ticking away, guiding us through history. Now these ancient predictions seem to be unfolding right before our eyes. But what's the deal with these prophecies? And could this war be a piece of the puzzle? Let's dive into this video today to uncover the truth. Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, is a very special place for many people. In the Bible, it's often called the City of God, which means it's really important to God. The name Jerusalem actually means City of Peace. Mount Zion, where the city's fortress was built, is super important too. God wanted his special place, the temple, to be there. A long time ago, King Solomon said that God picked Jerusalem as the place for his name to be and chose Zion as his forever home. Even before Israel became a country again, the Jewish people came back to their old homeland, just like the prophets said they would. Prophets like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and Amos discussed how the Jewish people would return to Israel and stay there forever. Many Christians who believe in the Bible think it's amazing to see how God brought the Jewish people back to their own country, Israel. God promised to give the land to Abraham and his family, and that promise went to Isaac, Jacob, and the 12 tribes of Israel. So Jerusalem and Israel are like a package deal. They belong together because God said so a long time ago. Importance of Jerusalem. But why is Jerusalem so important for what's supposed to happen at the end of the world according to the Bible? The Bible said ages ago that big things would happen in Jerusalem at the end of time. It's like the center of everything that's supposed to happen. It's pretty incredible when you think about it. In the book of Zechariah, God says that Jerusalem will be like a strong drink that makes nearby nations dizzy. When these countries try to attack Jerusalem and Judah, God says he'll make Jerusalem really tough, like a rock that nobody can move. All the nations will gather against it, but they'll end up hurting themselves instead of moving it. Further, in the Bible, it was foretold that Israel would be scattered and then regathered in the end times. This unique prediction became a reality, marking the start of prophetic events. Despite the immense tragedy of the Holocaust, where 6 million Jewish lives were lost to the Nazis, a remarkable turn of events occurred. The Jewish people regathered in their homeland. This unexpected regathering served as a significant sign, setting the prophetic clock in motion, the rebirth of Israel. In a twist of fate, Israel officially became a nation on May 14, 1948. The odds seemed insurmountable, considering the challenges and losses faced during the Holocaust. The fact that the Jewish people could reassemble in their homeland was remarkable, defying all expectations and going against the odds. Following Israel's regathering, a prophecy in Ezekiel chapters 37 and 38 unfolds. It predicts a large force from the north launching an attack on Israel. Many scholars and prophecy teachers interpret this force to be modern-day Russia. The foretelling takes a more specific turn as the Bible mentions Persia as an ally of this force. In ancient times, Persia corresponds to present-day Iran. So the prophecy anticipated that after Israel's regathering, a northern force, possibly Russia, referred to as Magog, would attack, with Iran as one of its allies. Recent reports and analyses provide intriguing insights into the alignment of current geopolitical events with ancient prophecies. It appears that Russia has established a military alliance with Iran. Notably, the two nations have strengthened their ties through various agreements, including missile sales from Russia to Iran. In a reciprocal arrangement, Iran has supported Russia by supplying weaponized drones for use in the Ukraine war. So what's the significance of all these? Are Bible prophecies playing out before our very eyes? For many evangelical Christians, the Israel-Hamas war isn't just a conflict, it's seen as part of a larger prophecy. This belief ties into their anticipation of the second coming of Christ, and the ongoing events in the Middle East are perceived as integral to that prophecy. Some find it intriguing that the belief in Christ's return is connected to the current bloodshed in the Middle East. Despite seeming unusual to secular observers, many evangelical Christians hold this as a significant worldview. According to one writer, the restoration of Jews to Palestine is believed to hasten the day foretold in both the Old and New Testaments when Jesus will manifest himself again to humanity. These beliefs persisted through the interwar years, and when the modern state of Israel emerged after the horrors of the Holocaust, evangelicals celebrated. As Israel prospered and later triumphed in the Six-Day War of 1967, defeating powerful neighbors and securing its borders, evangelicals felt increasingly confident. They viewed Israel as God's timepiece, signaling the final countdown. Evangelicals grew hopeful that all that remained for the culmination of these prophecies was for Israel to secure a final victory over its enemies and rebuild the Temple of Jerusalem. This step is seen as a crucial part of the unfolding events that will lead to the ultimate fulfillment of biblical prophecies. According to a prophecy expert named Billy, these current events are considered precursors to the actual end times events recorded in the scriptures. He asserts that we are living in the last days, heightening the significance of every unfolding occurrence as evangelicals closely watch for the fulfillment of biblical prophecies. Jerusalem's central role in future events. In the Bible, specifically in Revelation chapter 6 and 18, it's revealed that Jerusalem will play a key role in future events, ultimately establishing God's kingdom on earth. This ancient city has a rich history, gaining religious significance during the reigns of David and Solomon. Jerusalem is deeply revered in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. At the heart of Jerusalem is the Temple Mount, considered the holiest place on earth and the third holiest site in Islam. This sacred ground holds immense importance for believers from different faiths. Throughout history, prophecies concerning Jerusalem and the Israelis are believed to have been fulfilled, while others are still anticipated. One prophecy that seems to have come true is transforming a once barren and abandoned land into a fruitful one. Israel, once desolate, has become a global leader in agricultural technology, overcoming challenges posed by its arid climate and limited water resources. The reconstruction of the Third Temple. Another significant prophecy revolves around the reconstruction of the Third Temple. Scriptures like Ezekiel and Daniel provide detailed visions of this future temple. Ezekiel, in chapters 40 to 48, outlines this temple's measurements, design, and grandeur. It's described as a magnificent structure where God's presence will dwell among his people. The reconstructed temple holds profound significance as a place of worship where God's covenant with his people can be fully observed. Its existence is seen as a partial fulfillment of a crucial biblical prophecy. For some, the reconstruction of the temple becomes a powerful sign, signaling the impending arrival of the Messiah. Moreover, the concept of the Third Temple, as foretold by Hebrew prophets, holds deep religious significance for both Christians and Jews. It's seen as a symbol of redemption, a crucial element allowing them to fully uphold their covenant with God. The destruction of the First and Second Temples by the Babylonians in 586 BC and the Romans in 70 AD was a profound loss for the Jewish people. According to the Hebrew Bible, Jewish prophets called for the construction of the temple to be fulfilled, either before or in tandem with the Messianic age. For religious Jews, the anticipation of this ultimate future project, centered around building the Third Temple at the Temple Mount in the Old City of Jerusalem, has been a persistent theme. In Israel, it's also embraced as an ideological motive, the Dome of the Rock and Muslim perspectives. However, the idea of the Third Temple faces challenges, particularly from Muslims. The existence of the Dome of the Rock, built by the Umayyad Caliphate on the site of Solomon's Temple and the Second Temple, adds complexity. This contested space has historical and religious significance for both Jews and Muslims. The tensions between Jews and Muslims regarding the Temple Mount have spilled over into politics, becoming one of the major flashpoints in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The area has been a subject of significant debate, reflecting both communities' deep-seated emotions and historical claims. Slow progress of the Temple movement. Since 1987, a movement aiming to rebuild the Third Temple has been gradually gaining momentum in the Israeli-Palestinian peace process. The journey toward making this a reality in the 21st century has seen slow progress, marked by preparations and discussions. While modern Israel and a large percentage of Jewish people around the world are secular, Orthodox Jews hold a different perspective. They do not see a role for secular Jews in the rebuilding of the temple, considering it a spiritual endeavor. Orthodox Jews, who revived the Sanhedrin, a religious body overseeing legal matters related to the temple, intend to take the lead in its proper reconstruction. For Orthodox Jews, the importance of rebuilding the temple goes beyond physical construction. They believe it plays a crucial role in the world's redemption, something they feel can only happen once the temple is rebuilt. According to their beliefs, the absence of the divine presence, known as the Shekinah, has kept the Jewish people from living on the spiritual level intended by God. Leaders in the temple movement, representing Orthodox Jewish beliefs, assert that the world's present problems and the challenges faced by the Jewish people can be resolved through rebuilding the temple. The Shekinah, they argue, is brought about only through the presence of the temple. To address global and specific issues, they believe reinstating future temple service is necessary. Agricultural and ritual preparations for the Third Temple. As part of the efforts to prepare for the Third Temple, a notable project is planting the biblical temple forest. This unique forest serves a special purpose. It's designed to meet the agricultural needs of the Third Temple. The initiative reflects a thoughtful approach to anticipating the requirements of the temple's functioning. Rabbi Richmond, a member of the Sanhedrin, is leading a crucial project, restoring the sacred red heifer to Israel. According to the Book of Numbers 19, the ashes of the red heifer, when mixed with water, are essential for purifying Jews, enabling them to serve in the temple. Around 1,000 years ago, only 9 red heifers were used for this purpose. According to tradition, the Messiah will use the 10th red heifer. Notably, a red heifer must meet specific criteria, including being born in the land of Israel and never having worn a yoke. Transporting a red heifer to Israel for the purification ceremony is not feasible due to strict requirements. As a solution, individuals have shown interest in breeding red heifers locally, aligning with biblical specifications. This demonstrates the dedication to ensuring that all elements align with the meticulous requirements outlined in the scriptures. The Sanhedrin and the temple movement engage in reenactments of temple ceremonies to train the priestly class, known as Kohanim. This involves specialized schooling on the duties of the priests, the use of ritual vessels crafted for the Third Temple, and practice on a newly constructed altar of burnt offerings. The unique design of this altar allows for disassembly and quick reassembly, meeting the requirement that the altar must be built exclusively on the site of the original altar on Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount. When the time is deemed right, the disassembled altar will be reassembled on the mount in the temple. This strategic design allows for the quick resumption of sacrificial services without delay. It's a careful and intentional step taken in preparation for the eventual rebuilding of the Third Temple, a rediscovery. The Temple Institute has recently embarked on an intriguing journey, reviving the science of producing biblical crimson dye. This dye was historically used in the high priest's garments and the parashe, the massive curtains separating the Holy of Holies from the holy place in the temple. Additionally, it was an essential ingredient in the mixture combined with the ashes of the red heifer. Professor Zohar Amar of Bar Ilan University discovered that the eggs of the Tolet Shani, crimson worm, found in modern Israel could produce the crimson dye. While the temple movement diligently prepares for the rebuilding of the temple, there is an awareness that certain political actions must occur to address the present situation of Muslim control over the mount. This control restricts Jewish access to the Temple Mount. Efforts may be underway to navigate these complexities and pave the way for future access, marking a critical step in the process, reenacting the water libation ceremony. A surprising event that has reverberated worldwide is the reenactment of the water liberation, a preparation ritual for the Third Temple. On October 12th, this unique ancient water ceremony took place in Jerusalem. Participants gathered for this striking event, including Kohanim priests in biblically mandated vestments and Levites with musical instruments. They led the ceremony, moving from Shahar Hashpot, the Dung Gate in Jerusalem's Old City, to Shiloh, Siloam Springs, an important historical spot. The Siloam Pool, also known as Silwan in Arabic, carries significant biblical importance. When the Third Temple is built, its importance will re-emerge. In ancient times, pilgrims embarking on the annual pilgrimage to Jerusalem for biblical feasts started their journey from the Pool of Siloam. They would use the pool for washing and ritual purification before ascending on foot to the inner court of the Temple Mount to present their sacrificial offerings. As the ceremony unfolded, musically gifted Levites led the procession with joyous drums, violin, guitar, and clarinet music. The crowd sang and danced as they traversed ancient walkways, winding down into the valley below the Temple Mount. The route took them from the archaeological remains of the ancient city of David through an Arab village to the Shiloh Siloam Spring, a significant location used in temple times. During the procession, there were stops where 4-foot-long pure silver trumpets were sounded. These pauses added a ceremonial rhythm to the event. Rabbi Yisrael Ariel, the founder of the Temple Institute, oversaw the ceremony, joined by distinguished rabbis including Rabbi Dolior, Rabbi Ari Stern, Rabbi Shmueliyahu, Rabbi David Chai Hakohen, Rabbi Ram Hakohen, Rabbi Menem Bornstein, and Rabbi Uri Churi. And the morning after, people from nations worldwide joined the Sukkot celebrations, turning it into an international worship of God. In the times of the temple, a water libation was a special part of the morning service on the last 6 days of the week-long Sukkot holiday. Kohanim, descendants from the temple, descended to the Siloam Spring at the base of Mount Moriah. They had to fill a flask with spring water and return to the temple. So at the forefront of the parade was the gold vessel, the water jug from the Siloam pool. This symbolic vessel held great significance. A model altar and its utensils were set up in an open area near the western wall, adorned with large leafy willow branches reminiscent of temple traditions. And upon reaching Shiloh, they gathered water in a golden jug and brought it back to the mountaintop. They set up a model altar with leafy branches, similar to the old temple days. 2 Kohanim ascended the stone altar in the temple's inner courtyard, placing 2 silver cups on the southwestern corner. One Kohen poured water from the silver flask, while the second Kohen poured wine from the second cup. Both liquids flowed into holes in the altar specially prepared for this ceremony. The ceremony concluded with blessings and something called Hakel, a special event that happens every 7 years. While the Torah doesn't insist on the water libation, it's a joyful tradition everyone celebrates. In ancient times, it lasted 15 hours in the temple, continuing all night. People worldwide joined Sukkot celebrations, making it a significant day of worship. For the last 6 days of Sukkot, they performed the water libation and poured wine, keeping the temple traditions alive. Sukkot, a joyous holiday, became the focal point of celebration, reminiscent of the lively festivities that would last all night until the commencement of temple service during ancient times. Biblical prophecies and the end of the age. This brings us to the connections between these ancient traditions and the Bible's prophecies about the end of the age. There's a belief mentioned earlier that the ongoing conflicts like the war between Israel and Hamas might lead to something significant. Some fear it could be the beginning of a series of wars, culminating in what many term World War III, referred to in the Bible as Armageddon. This colossal war is predicted to be fought on the sacred soil of Israel for global supremacy between the King of the West and the King of the East, with the throne of the earth at stake. Looking at predictions and analyses, it's evident that our world is undergoing significant shifts. The ongoing conflicts and the effect of events like the war between Israel and Hamas raise questions about whether these occurrences align with prophecies, and if they could lead to the fulfillment of age-ending events. Current conflict in Israel. Confirmation of end times prophecies. The ongoing conflict in Israel is seen by many as a confirmation of biblical prophecies about the end times and the regathering of the Jewish people. This adds a layer of significance to the current era, indicating its volatile and prophetic nature. The unfolding events are also perceived as aligning with the descriptions found in the book of Revelation. Biblical prophecies regarding the regathering and spiritual awakening of the Jewish people are believed to be coming true in modern times. The establishment of Israel in 1948 stands as a tangible fulfillment of these prophecies. The ongoing conflict in the region is viewed not only through a lens of land disputes, but also as having spiritual dimensions. Reports suggest that Iran has openly expressed its objective to destroy Israel and is allegedly developing nuclear weapons. Their threats include wiping Israel off the face of the earth. In response, Israel has vowed to retaliate against any attacking move. This geopolitical tension adds another layer to the complex dynamics in the region. So, what do you think of the terrifying prophecies happening in Israel? Comment below and subscribe for more.